financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Time to get the groceries for this weekend's cookout. You pick out the best quality grass-fed ground beef and the finest all-natural hot dogs. And then you almost blow it when you hit the bread aisle and reach for the Mad Buns just because they're national brand. Don't do it. Upgrade to locally baked Village Hearth hot dog and hamburger buns. They're soft, fresh, and sturdy enough for toppings that mean business. Success! Village Hearth. Because when the bun's that good, everything you put in it just tastes better.
Have you ever really thought about how important your front door, and every entry door into your home for that matter, really is? That door provides security for your family and so much more. The wait is over. Ensemble Doors by Renewal by Andersen have arrived. These awesome secure doors have timeless style, elegant features. They can be customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, Renewal by Andersen is offering an incredible value on Ensemble entry doors. You get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Ensemble entry doors by Renewal by Andersen are just so much better. They're built with the best quality materials, including Renewal by Andersen's exclusive Fibrex, which has been tested to deliver enhanced security, certified performance, and lasting beauty. Please visit RBARapidCity.com now. That's RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors. The wait is over.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Here's what you need to know.
At the World Cup, England wasted no time in the second half against Croatia.
Bellingham is that was a devil by the Croatian defense, and Jude Bellingham running it from a tight angle and dead off the post from one end of the field to the other. Jude Bellingham puts England back in front 90 seconds into the second half.
You heard it all on Fox TV. In fact, England has scored again. They're in the 96th minute, seconds away from calling the match. England leads Croatia right now 4-2. Earlier today out of Group K, Portugal and DR Congo played to a 1-1 draw. In Major League Baseball in LA, the Dodgers currently lead the Rays 5-4. It's the top of the ninth inning. Tampa Bay has the bases loaded and they have one out to go. The Diamondbacks are up on the Angels 8-1. Bottom of the eighth inning, Corbin Carroll with a grand slam. I'm Monty Bolaños.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in on a Wednesday in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are ready, and it is always a great day in South Dakota. The Nate Brown Show is back. How are you? Doing okay? A little windy in some parts of South Dakota, so hang on. Hang on to the cars, the vehicles, your hats. Hang on. Be careful out there. A Wednesday show lined up and ready to go. Great guest lineup tonight. The Nate Brown Show is on KWSN Sioux Falls and Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here. Appreciate you making this show possible. We'll get to the guest lineup, who's going to join us tonight. We'll get to the question of the day and all the fun stuff we do. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk. Let's get after it. Remember, if you can't catch the radio show all 2 hours, go to our streaming sites. You can catch us on your phone on Twitter. We're streaming at Nate Brown Show on Twitter. Follow the show and watch us live. You get your guest line up there. You get an interaction. We check our Twitter account throughout the show. So interact with us. Watch the show live at Nate Brown Show on Twitter. YouTube channel, that's just a live stream right there. Not a lot of interaction, but we do appreciate you on YouTube. I went to a barbecue last night, and he said, I was watching it on YouTube moments ago. Yes, I appreciate that. And I love barbecues. Hit us on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Find us, subscribe to the channel. You've got us, The Nate Brown Show. YouTube channel is live. And Midwest Sports Plus, appreciate the guys at Forum Communications, at Midwest Sports Plus, live high school sports all season long. And The Nate Brown Show every afternoon, live on the new app, Midwest Sports Plus. We got that taken care of. What do we got on a Wednesday for you? I said, great guest lineup. I like like the guys coming up. Here we go. Some of the OGs, some of the all-timers. Brian Hentgens coming in tonight from Indianapolis. He is a high school sports writer, and he covers the Indiana Fever now. What's he on, Fever Talk? Brian Hentgen has gone from the Argus Leader in Sioux Falls to the Caitlin Clark Frenzy. He is on tonight. Indianapolis Star. Brian Hentgens coming up. Caitlin Clark's signature shoe was just unveiled today. Did you guys see this? Yes, I'm going to get into that. You know that I do have a question of the day on the Caitlin Clark shoe. That's coming up. Interesting topic straight ahead. Brian Hentgens on the way. Jason Andera's on tonight from South Dakota Public Broadcasting, 6:05. Jandy coming up tonight. We'll go to Brian Noe from Las Vegas, Fox Sports Radio, national host, and a lot to discuss with Brian Noe tonight. And finally, James Merilatt covering the Broncos minicamp. Sean Payton just canceled the last practice. He canceled the last practice. Sean Payton says the Broncos are already going to win this. I'm kidding. I'm not. He did cancel the last practice. And he did say we were Super Bowl caliber last year. So what's that a sign of? By the way, big star at Broncos minicamp not there, and Sean Payton talked about this. So I'm going to dig into that player missing. James Merilatt's coming up from Broncos minicamp, just wrapped up today, denversports.com. Let's get you on tonight, 605-720-1067. That's our number, 605-720-1067. Mark it down, the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch at East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon. Two great locations, the best buffet at your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, and the Barron's Wilson text line, open and ready, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line is ready. Wednesday's show is ready. We've got 5 questions from Chris. That's coming up tonight. A lot to get to. Okay, let me just start with something that's really big. It's the start of summer right now, but something that's really big in South Dakota sports, and with all the talk that's been going on the last couple of weeks, I think we've got to address this issue in South Dakota. I think it's time to talk about the elephant in the room and South Dakota being way behind on this topic. And I'm not just saying that, guys. I'm serious about this. South Dakota has missed the boat on this. We're still sitting around arguing about this, and there's nothing to argue about anymore. We have totally changed this entire landscape, and South Dakota, when it comes to sports betting, is not even in the conversation the correct way. And what am I talking about? So last couple of weeks, all the talk has been about Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech QB, and I haven't talked about his sports betting, that side of it. Some people have gone down that road as we got these young guys that are betting on sports and they have addictions, and this is the thing. And that's one side of this. I kept it on the football side and the NCAA side, saying you can't let this guy play. And there were some people say, well, it's not that big a deal. And so that's one story. But with that story came this story today. And this is in Front Office Sports. There's the CEO of Kalshi is being interviewed today for Front Office Sports, and he's talking about the big competition now when it comes to these prediction markets across the country, and that means here in South Dakota. So what I'm telling you, when I say South Dakota has missed the boat, South Dakota's not even in the conversation. This is what I've discussed here on this program for quite some time, is that sports betting in South Dakota is run and operated through Deadwood. You have to be in the city limits. You have to be in the Deadwood casinos, and you will bet on sports in Deadwood. I know this because I do it, and I've done it, and we have great partnerships. We've done this show at our BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzie. It's our favorite place. So I'm all about that. But what I've said over the years is that South Dakota could take this sports betting down the mobile route, and South Dakota legislators have pushed back on that over and over and over. And Kristi Noem years ago pushed back on that over and over and over. And what I'm telling you now is we are in 2026, and Kalshi's CEO is saying, yes, we have live prediction markets on anything and everything, including the World Cup right now. So England was just playing Croatia. If you're not following it, they were just playing Croatia. So I just checked it out. I said, what could I do on Kalshi? You can bet live right here in South Dakota on Kalshi, right here on my phone. And what this article is about today, the Kalshi CEO saying they're not the only guys in this game anymore. Kalshi's saying this prediction market on mobile across this country is now a really competitive market. And they talked about there's Polymarket. You guys have heard that. Now there's FanDuel. FanDuel is now one of the big ones just taking off in the U.S. prediction market platform. FanDuel's in it. DraftKings is in it. And so what is my point today as I start this conversation? My point is there are no arguments anymore to say in Pierre why you should not have mobile sports wagering as Deadwood would support. Deadwood would say, hey, we want this. We want this. We have sports betting apps. We could just do it through that, regulate it through that. We have all the regulations in place through Deadwood. And then you'd still have your mobile sports app. And you listing right now in Sioux Falls, you listing right now in Puckwana, you'd be able to just get on there and make bets on whatever you want, right? And people are going to say, and I've heard you guys, I respect this side of it. Some of you are against sports betting in general. I respect that opinion. You can have that opinion. I've always said, can we at least get it through Pierre in the legislative process to take it to a vote of the people? And if the people say, we want mobile sports betting, I think we go with the people. Is that fair? But it was killed in Pierre in 2021. It was killed again every single year. And now we are in this era where everybody else can bet on Kalshi, on Polymarket, on FanDuel. And here in South Dakota, where the revenue stays, we actually get the revenue, the tax benefit, if we run it through South Dakota. Nobody says we can do it. You can't do it. So it's a big thing right now. This got my attention today, looking at how competitive this market is, how competitive the prediction, they call it prediction markets. And so you can tell me tonight, hey, Nate, this isn't really sports betting. Well, I don't care what it is. I could go and make a prediction on FanDuel Predicts, and you can win money right there in your account, on your phone. You cannot go on a BetMGM app and run it through Deadwood and make a sports bet. You can't do it because the people in Pierre didn't have the foresight. They didn't have the look forward saying, hey, other states have done this. Other states are getting the tax benefits of it, the revenue of it. We got to do it ourselves. And so we killed it. We just thought that we could keep it out of South Dakota, but I'm here to tell you on the Nate Brown Show tonight, right here, you can look at all of them. And you guys know this. You can make predictions right there on your phone with real money. Mobile, I call it mobile sports wagering. That's what it is. And so what is left of the argument for South Dakota not to do this? As a matter of fact, I'm not going to get into politics too much tonight, but there is a governor's race coming up. And so I want to ask this question of the day. Do you think whoever becomes governor, in this race, do you think the governor should make it a point as an item to say, we've got to get this done in South Dakota. It's time to just allow the mobile sports wagering. Deadwood now wants it. Deadwood says, yeah, we would regulate this. We have the apps. They have the technology. You could do it. You sign up for your account. You can bet on sports. So instead of sending the money to the FanDuel, to the Kalshi, to the Polymarket, these outside prediction networks, that would actually stay in South Dakota for South Dakota's benefit. And I'm not telling you everybody's going to get rich off this from a tax benefit. I'm not telling you that. It's in the small millions probably. Okay? I'm not sure how much the handle would be. They call that the sports betting handle if you went statewide with this. But I just know that there are people doing this, and there's companies now in the state, and you can sign up for these accounts on your phone, and now South Dakota as a state is receiving no benefit from this, zero. And Kalshi's saying this is only going to get bigger. That was what the article's about today, so I read that. You can find it Front Office Sports. Kalshi's saying the prediction market is just taking off. They thought they were had all the market share, and they still think they're in good shape. I mean, Kalshi had all this market share. Now it's Kalshi. Who else is in this thing? They said Coinbase. I haven't been in that side of it, but DraftKings, FanDuel, okay, Polymarket, Underdog. Underdog's in this now too. So I mean, this thing is just taking off. And you know who's not in this? I told you, South Dakota. And so this is one of those things. And I guess I don't think there's any other arguments to be made in Pierre. There can't be very many legislators that can say now, well, the argument was not to give people this easy access to waste their money and bet on sports. That was the argument. And that was an argument that you could make. And I told you, I respect people that are against these vices. I respect it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But we tried shutting it down. And as a matter of fact, we did shut it down ourselves. And now outside companies, and we're behind the 8 ball, the prediction markets are in. South Dakota, Deadwood, mobile sports wagering is out. Do you think the next governor should make this a part of, hey, we got to get this done? I don't want to call it, it's not a priority. I don't want to say a priority, but do you think the next governor should just say, hey, we missed the ball here? I mean, there was the world has changed. There's outside companies that have come in. Do you think the governor should say it's time to push through a mobile sports betting bill? They do it in Wyoming. They do it in Iowa. You guys know this. Why aren't we doing it in South Dakota? Because we thought, we're not going to do this. We're not going to have people get addicted to this and get hooked on this, so we're not going to do it. Well, guess what? All of those guys that want to bet on sports, they can do it. It's called all these prediction markets. Right here, right now. So we missed it. Do you think a governor should change that and say, time to get some revenue in state? That's my question of the day, by the way. Would you support that? A governor saying it's time to put a bill together, even though the ones got killed the last 4 years. It's time to put a bill together, mobile sports wagering. It's time for Deadwood to have some regulation, to get their own sports betting apps, make it statewide. I know this is a sports radio show, so many of you probably are going to say yes, but do you want a governor to say it's time to do it? That's my question of the day. Do you think a 2026 South Dakota gubernatorial candidate should make mobile sports wagering one of their items to address? Governor's race underway. What do we got? A runoff. Runoff's coming up on the Republican side. Do you think the next governor in South Dakota should just say it's time to do mobile sports wagering? What is my answer? It is yes. I've just explained that the toothpaste is out. It's gone. It's a runaway freight train. South Dakota's not seeing any benefit. We're just hoping that, well, maybe people aren't doing it. If they want to do it, they can do it right here. I pulled it up right now. I pulled it up right before the show. I could bet on everything and anything under the sun in the World Cup right here, right now on Kalshi, on all these outside stuff. Why not get a little bit of benefit from the tax side, from the revenue side for South Dakota? I don't think there's any more arguments to do it. To keep it only Deadwood, city limits. That's it. That's all. I think that's got to be done. What do you say? Governor support. Would you want your governor to do that? 80% of you voting on Twitter, yes. Time for the South Dakota governor candidate to make mobile sports wagering one of their items to address. You say yes. 80% of you say yes, we're losing revenue. 20% of you say no, it's a dead issue. Response here from James. James says, I'd say that if South Dakota is going to keep sports wagering going, we need to go all in and include mobile wagering. I'm not a fan of sports wagering in general. As we've seen on a national scale, it can present some bigger issues for young athletes. That's interesting, but he said if you're going to do it, go all in on it, including mobile sports wagering. Another listener reaction, yes, we need to do this mobile sports wagering, but can I sign up right here in Sioux Falls? Well, one step at a time. One step at a time. I believe we got to get down this road. I believe you're just missing out. And by the way, if you have made a prediction on sports on your phone, can you text the Nate Brown Show, please? Don't worry, I'm not going to turn you into Larry Roden. Don't worry, okay? I just want to know. I want to know. People listen to the program right now, tonight, on a Wednesday. Have you done a sports prediction because you're like, well, I want to do this mobile. This is easy. Polymarket, FanDuel predicts, Kalshi, whatever you've used. I mean, all these are active now. All these are active. This just happened in the last, 6 months. And Deadwood not getting anything. Deadwood can't do the mobile sports wagering because we killed it in Pierre. Have you done it? That's all I want to know tonight. So text me on the text line saying, yes, I've done the Polymarket or Kalshi or whatever sports predictions. Okay? 605-720-1067. I want to get a taste of South Dakota sports fans and if they're doing this anyway to prove the point. Coming right back with Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio national host from Vegas, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Menards is your one-stop shop for all your summer essentials. Whether you're stocking up on everyone's favorite snacks, making a patio perfect for entertaining family and friends, or getting ready to gather around the grill, Menards has everything you need for your get-togethers all summer long. Save big money now at Menards. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
At Splash City, we think there's a time for everything. There's work time, there's play time, and there's your time. Splash City specializes in your time. Spas for you and your friends. Beautiful gas fireplaces that can be used almost anywhere, bringing warmth to the night or letting you be alone with your thoughts. Splash City. Rest, relax, enjoy.
Shop Black Hill's best selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs at Danny Mennel Rapid Chevrolet. You can buy with no money down and no payments for 90 days with qualified credit. Choose from GMCs, Rams, Fords, Chevys, Jeeps, imports, and more, with over 330 to choose from. With no money down and make no payments for 90 days with qualified credit. 16 local and national lenders available and all applications accepted. See us at Danny Mennel Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMennelRapidChevrolet.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory continues. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow, chance of rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 76. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow night, chance of rain showers. Lows around 53. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 72.
Take your Deadwood stay to the next level at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort. Choose Hampton by Hilton or 4 Points by Sheridan, both just steps from the Main Street action. Then play in our 24/7 casino, bet every buzzer beater at the BetMGM Sportsbook, and taste your way through 6 unique dining options. With non-stop events, next-level casino promotions, and everything under one roof on historic Main Street, plan your getaway at tinlizzie.com, where your getaway goes to the next level.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, just getting going tonight, Wednesday edition of the program across the state, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Energy on a Wednesday, man. We got to bring it a little bit. I think the arguments, I think they're dead about no mobile sports wagering in South Dakota now. I mean, guys, we've argued about this for 4 years in Pierre every winter. Some legislators say, no, we can't do it, we can't do it, we can't do it. Some people have tried pushing it. Kristi Noem was way against it. I'm not sure where the governor candidates are now. You know, there's a race for governor right now. I'm not sure where they're at. Do you want them to say, I favor mobile sports wagering? I say the arguments are dead because the prediction markets are already live in the state right now. So South Dakota's seeing no revenue from it, no tax benefit from it at all. And I'm not going to say it's going to reduce our property taxes by whatever, but just a little bit. So some benefit instead of Kalshi, Polymarket, all this bull. So the arguments are dead, I think. So I think we got to get this done. Brian Noah's on tonight. Speaking of sports betting, he likes to do it. He likes it. Fox Sports Radio, national host of Countdown. Brian Noah. Here's the deal. Every state's different. In South Dakota, we have sports betting, but you have to go to the hub, Deadwood. We have great partnerships with BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzie here on the Nate Brown Show. That's our headquarters, and that's where I go. Deadwood now says, we'd love to have mobile sports wagering so you could use your BetMGM Sports app and bet across the state, all throughout the state. Our legislature has said, no, we can't do it on phones. It's going to get too addictive. It's going to get all that. But how do you put that together with Polymarket and all these prediction markets who are already doing all of this stuff? It's such an interesting deal these days.
Well, first off, Nate, always good to hear your voice, man. Always a good day in South Dakota, as you always say here. And I will say this. I do love that you have to go somewhere called Deadwood to place a bet. I do love that. But come on, you laid out your argument very well. If you can get on Kalshi, if you can get on Polymarket and bet, I don't know why you're trading, quote unquote. You're betting.
Yes.
It's just a technicality, right? And the state isn't seeing anything. I don't understand these states that are so incredibly behind the times, where they're like, nope, no gambling, no gambling. It's addictive. It's like, do you sell alcohol? That's addictive. You got that in your state, don't you? Yeah. Well, what about betting? Oh, it's a different. Is it? Is it really? Like, if you can get on Polymarket and Kalshi, you should be able to get on BetMGM and DraftKings and whatever sports book that you want to get on and bet on your mobile device. It's just, these states are so dumb. They're literally saying, no, we're good. We don't need whatever the dollar amount is. We don't need
right
$250 million. We don't need $250 million this year for the state. And we can use that in so many different ways. It's so stupid, Nate. They're so behind the times. These states that haven't signed off on it by now.
Okay, so if you were running for governor in South Dakota, Brian Noah for governor, would you make this an item to address? It is my question of the day. We have a gubernatorial race going on this fall, and I'm trying to tell the candidates, I'd say, hey, mobile sports wagering, I'm going to put it on my list.
Yeah, absolutely I would. I would say, let's build a same-game parlay right now. Brian, no, I'm your new guy. Like, add that in. We've got sports wagering. It will be into effect by 2027. Throw that in the same-game parlay. Let's get underway here. Let's fully embrace this stuff. That'd be my whole campaign right there.
I wonder if that would get some popularity. I mean, I think that would win. Now, people are going to say, oh, come on, there's other important issues. And there are, but wouldn't that get you some votes, Brian? No?
Yeah, it absolutely would. And you know what? In this day and age, Nate, it probably would cost you some votes, too. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Look, man, there are a lot of people that it's just taboo. It's all betting. It's like way back when I was married, Nate. You might not know this about me. I was married way back when.
Okay.
But my ex's father, who had passed away, I never met him. He passed away before I knew her. He was just dead set against betting. And she said something that he said one time where it was like, oh, you can't trust anybody who gambles. And I'm like, that's not true. It's not true. But there are a lot of people. The point is, there are a lot of people who think that way. They reason that way. It's in their mind. It's been such a taboo thing for so long. They haven't embraced it at all. So, yeah, it would win you some votes if you're like, yeah, betting, let's go, South Dakota. It would also cost you some votes for some people out there.
Okay, one more on this. Brian Noe, a good sports betting guy to have on. He's with Fox Sports Radio. He hosts Countdown. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. We try and get him each week and shoot it around. Kalshi's CEO is in an article today in Front Office Sports, and that's what got me going on this. And he's talking about all these competitive companies. He said it's not just Kalshi anymore. It's all these guys, Underdog and FanDuel and DraftKings. They're all coming in now in the prediction market. So they're all live in South Dakota, which we don't even have mobile sports betting. So we're losing to these outside companies. But his point was there's got to be some regulation on this stuff. And he thinks you probably need some regulation where you can't be doing the predictions on this next pitch, this next call. He thinks you probably got to regulate in-game props.
I mean, I get that. We saw it in Major League Baseball, right, with the two pitchers, and I don't know that anything ever came from that, Nate, but they were intentional. Like, there were some very shaky pitches. The first pitch of an inning, right, would just happen to be not even close to a strike, like literally bouncing it. It's the old Bob Uecker, just a bit outside, right? Like that type of stuff. And so it's like, is there a reason why this keeps on happening? Are they, in on this? Are they trying to doctor things? That's where you run the risk of those, like they call it micro betting. When you're able to do it on that scale, yeah, it might be a bit much, and it becomes something that can be doctored. It can be altered. The athletes that are going out there that have influence over what that happens to be, what the outcome happens to be. What does it matter if I throw a ball to start this at bat? If I'm still trying to strike this guy out and still get him out,
yes.
If I still get the out, what does it matter? So yeah, the micro markets that can lead to some shadiness. But the thing is with that, Nate, is most of the time you can't bet large amounts. You're not going to be betting anything of great significance.
Okay.
Right. So that's the counter argument is if they limit it to whatever it is, a couple $100, $500, that's not enough to really entice a Major League Baseball pitcher to jeopardize his career or risk getting banned for life or, suspended for who knows how long. Is it really worth it to line your pockets with some, dinner money? Probably not. So that's a counter argument to it. But I can see it maybe on the collegiate level where they want some of those things out of it, where the opportunity for things to go awry just isn't there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't love the in-game props, the player props that you can manipulate that are ripe for some of that stuff. I do want to say on the heels of the Brendan Sorsby thing, so he loses, essentially, the Big 12 comes back at him, and they said, hey, we're going to fight you on this, and now he's going to the NFL supplemental draft, and he's going to bag the deal with Texas Tech. But Brendan Sorsby is an example. Is this a one-off, Brian Noe? Do you believe there will be more players trying to test the limit of betting on their own sport?
Well, yeah, I don't think this is the end of it, right? There's going to be some player from some team who's like, yeah, I was betting on my squad. Totally forgot about this, but with the Brendan Sorsby thing, I read one of the ESPN articles, and they mentioned Kayshon Boutte. I totally forgot about this. Kayshon Boutte, who's now a wide receiver with the Patriots, when he was at LSU, he was making bets left and right. That dude made 8,900 bets in just over 1 year. It was like 13 months. This dude is firing bets. And that included, I think it was 17 college football bets, 6 including his own team, LSU. So this has happened before. It's going to happen again where a player is betting on his own team. Listen, you should know better. I think that a lot of leagues and a lot of levels make it more difficult than it needs to be. It should just be you can't bet on the sport you play. Right? If you're a college football player, don't bet on college football. You're an NFL player, don't bet on NFL games. Keep it as simple as possible. I personally don't care what you bet on outside of that, but you can't bet on your own sport because it leads to what could be, the little betting devil on my left shoulder is saying, hey, you could win X amount if you bet against your squad, and you kind of go out there and have influence over that habit. You don't want to open that door. You don't want to open the misperception door either. If it comes out and Brendan Sorsby's placing these bets, and it's like, well, it's only on Indiana. It's like, no, not really. It leads to the speculation that it might be going the other way, and a couple of bets did. He was betting on the other team, and there was a prop where he was betting on the other team's over. So you just can't have that in the sport, Nate. That has to be completely separated. But yeah, to answer your question, we haven't seen the last of this. No way.
Brian Noe joining us tonight, Fox Sports Radio national host. Listen to him on the weekends. The show is called Countdown. They do talk sports betting. Man, it's really taken off, and these prediction markets have really taken off. New article out today in Front Office Sports. By the way, I got to hit you on this tonight. I have to hit you. U.S. men's national team won last Friday. The country, 18 million people watched it, and Brian Noe was trying to take it down last week on the Nate Brown Show. Are you ready for this Friday against Australia?
Not ready, Nate. Still,
Come on.
If the U.S. men's national team is a dart, right, and the juice meter is the dartboard, it hasn't hit the dartboard. You know what I mean? It was one of those where there was a kink in your elbow, and it's like, whoa, that dart just went awry. It didn't even hit the juice dartboard right. That's where I'm at. I don't care. It's great. I'm not trying to discourage people. They're all excited.
Okay.
I'm typically excited for all things USA, too. If it's the Olympics, we're bobsledding, go USA. We're playing hockey. We've got Olympic hoops on. I'm all USA. I don't care about the USA in the World Cup. I just don't. Maybe I'll get on board this year, but I have not ever since I've been alive, Nate. It just doesn't move me whatsoever.
What do you think of the people that argue with you and say, Brian, no, you have to care about the World Cup. What is wrong with you? What do you think about those people?
I just roll my eyes and say, I'll leave it up to me what I should and shouldn't care about. I really don't need your opinion on what my opinion should be. So I just basically roll my eyes, and if it's really persistent, it's like, just go jump in a river, that sort of thing. It's met with Christian intent, though. Maybe you cool yourself off. It's a hot day. It doesn't necessarily mean it's completely negative, but it's, just go jump in a river. Get out of my face.
There are
that sort of thing.
A lot of media people that want other people to care a lot about the World Cup. But you know what? I'm honest with this. So I'm a soccer dad, so I'm heavily into soccer now. And I said, really, most of the people that are into the World Cup right now, there is some hey, USA type thing, but it's soccer, people that have had soccer kids or people that have played soccer. I think that's it. I do. Passionate.
Yeah, hey, man, passion's great, and I get it. Hockey fans are very similar. If you go to a hockey game, you would think it's the most popular sport on the planet.
Right.
It's my theory on heavy metal concerts. You go to a heavy metal concert, you're like, this has to be the most popular genre on the face of the earth, and it's just not. You just don't have the numbers in bulk. But I can understand how there are fans that are so entrenched in their sport, and they love it so much and they care about it so much that they want it to be more popular than it is. And it's one of those like, oh, if you just tried it, you might love it too. And it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, look, man, I'll equate it to food. You know, I'm the guy, Nate, who all my friends are like, just try it. It's so good. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I won't like it. You know what I mean? Just try it. It's and it's like, I can't. My body will reject spicy food. Do you realize this? Like, it's not me just being closed-minded. It's like it just doesn't work for me.
I like
and that's how a lot of people are with sports as well. No matter how many people are shouting at them, like, this is awesome, you should love it too. They just don't, and you have to accept that.
All right, very good take. Very good stuff from Brian Noe tonight. His World Cup is like, I don't know, lutefisk. Just try it. You may like it, you may not. Brian Noe tonight, Fox Sports Radio, countdown to kickoff all season long. We're going to talk some ball next time. We'll get you on, man. I appreciate the time.
Always good hanging with you, Nate. And I really hope on the drive home today you go place a bet at Deadwood, huh? That's a way to cap off a night.
I do love that. You better believe it. It's Father's Day weekend coming up, so get ready for Deadwood. In the meantime, are you betting on mobile prediction markets? Brian Noe says it's time for South Dakota to get with it, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show tonight from Vegas, by the way. I mean, Brian Noe is in Vegas, so the hot spot for betting. He said South Dakota has to get up to speed on this. So here's what I got. I just got numerous texts on the text line here on the Nate Brown Show just tonight of people that have made predictions, wagers on outside companies, not because we don't have mobile sports betting. It's not regulated, right? It's not approved in South Dakota with the legislature. And so I asked you, if you're doing this with Kalshi, with Polymarket, with whoever, can you let me know? And boy, did they let me know. I just got some screenshots. I mean, these are real here. Got a couple from Sioux Falls. Got a couple that just came in from Sioux Falls saying, here's what I've done. I'm doing this right now. And that is my point. South Dakota has fought mobile sports betting and saying, no, we don't want to do this. It's not going to be good for people. I get that, but I don't get it anymore. Because people will bet on the prediction markets that are live right now. It's a big story, and it's just launched in 2026. And South Dakota's still trying to spin our wheels, saying, no, we don't want to do this. What's already happening? Thanks for sending those in. If you just listen to the Nate Brown Show, I've asked, you think the next governor should just say, we need to do mobile sports betting. We need to take advantage of some of the tax revenue. Any more revenue we can get into the state, the better. People are doing this anyway, sending it to these prediction markets. Do you want the next governor to actually make that an item? Mobile sports wagering, get it done. Because they brought it up every year in Pierre, and nobody's gotten it to the governor's desk. You got to have support from the top. Got to have support. Do you want the governor of South Dakota, the next one, whoever it is you're going to vote for, do you want them to say mobile sports wagering? That's one of the items we're going to get done. That's my question of the day on the text line, 605-720-1067. You let me know. James Merlat's in from Denver Sport.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Sioux Falls, welcome in East River and the Sioux Falls Metro. Good to have you in. Fox Sports Rapid City, Western South Dakota. Glad you're here. Appreciate you guys. Coming up, Brian Henson live from Indianapolis. I have a question about the Caitlin Clark shoes that just came out. They just came out. I'm already getting smacked on my family text thread. I got a daughter that plays basketball, so you know what's coming there. But we'll get into that. Brian Henson covers the Fever and Caitlin Clark for the Indy Stars coming up. Jason Anderis on the way from Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Jason Anderis on tap tonight from high school to college to the pros. Let's go to Denver. James Merilatt popping in. Appreciate his time talking Denver sports. Find his work at denversports.com. Denversports.com. James, how are you?
I'm great, Nate. Appreciate you having me.
I appreciate your time. So I want to dig into some stuff. First thing, but I'm not going to go Denver yet. I've got a question of the day here. In South Dakota, we don't have mobile sports wagering. We have sports betting in Deadwood. It's kind of like, South Dakota's version of Las Vegas. And people go to Deadwood, and we have partnerships with BetMGM Sportsbook and all of that. And so that's what I do. And really enjoy it, and the sportsbook experience is great. But I know in Colorado, you went mobile sports wagering pretty quickly when this started going across the country. Now with all these prediction markets, there's people that can bet I guess wager or predict on their phones right now in South Dakota, James. But they can't bet on sports through a South Dakota sports betting app, for example. So what are we missing here? Does Colorado have it right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're going to do Kalshi or whatever those, predictive things are, it's the same thing, right? They're positioning it under different terms, and they're finding legal loopholes, but it's the same thing. It's predictive markets. You're, quote unquote, predicting the outcome, which is the same as betting on the outcome. So, yeah, I mean, you might as well open it up. I don't have an issue with it. I'm old school. I still like going to the sports book, whether it's in Vegas or here in Colorado. You can go up to Central City, and they have a sports book in the casinos. I love Deadwood. Haven't been there in a long time. Haven't been there since there's been sports betting. But coming up to take my son to Black Hills State for a visit in Spearfish in about a month. So now that I know that's going on in Deadwood, I'll make sure to make even a little more time on my schedule for that. But people are going to do it anyway. You might as well tax it, and now they can regulate it and find things that are improprieties. They can see those now versus, the bookie down the street or whatever the case may be. So I'm not telling anybody they should do it. I'm just saying I don't like the fact that vices like that are made illegal. You might as well, make them legal, get some tax revenue off of it, and make sure everything's as above board as possible.
See, and my big thing, James, has been the legislators in our capital have said, we don't want this to be on your phones. And the former governor said, we don't want this to be on your phones. And I understood that. I like sports betting, and I do, and I go to Vegas, and I go to Deadwood, all that. But now there's no argument for that. I mean, all of these, Underdog, DraftKings, they all have the prediction markets. And so I don't know if there's any argument left to not have mobile sports betting in a state.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, if you want to be hardline, if you're the legislator or the governor or whatever, and say we're not having any of that stuff, the predictive stuff, okay, that's fine. Then at least you're being consistent. I think they're splitting hairs here, allowing one thing and not the other. So, yeah, that's the issue I have with it, and it's the issue I have with not taking a political side, but anything political is the hypocrisy that's typically involved. So, you see it with the thing down at Texas Tech, right? All these schools that are saying, no, we're not going to play Texas Tech because they're allowing this kid to play, yet they're all taking, sponsorship dollars from DraftKings and FanDuel and all the rest of these things. So, I don't think there's really an argument if you're going to allow Kalshi and all these other predictive things in there to not let DraftKings, FanDuel, and whatever do their mobile sports book. People are going to find a way to get in trouble, Nate, if they really want to get in trouble, whether you put it on their phone or whatever else. I think putting obstacles in front of it almost just makes it more of a forbidden fruit and makes it more enticing. You can't protect people from every possible thing that could lead to a bad outcome from them. At some point, they got to regulate themselves. They got to find their own discipline on that. They'll find it if they want to. I guess I'll just put it that way.
I just had listeners send it in on the text line, screenshots of their prediction markets. They are doing it here in South Dakota right now. They just let me know from across the state. James Merilatt's on tonight, denversports.com. Appreciate his time. One more on this. People have talked the last couple of weeks with the Sorsby issue. Well, young men have a sports betting problem. Is that a big discussion to be had?
I think it's a discussion to be had. I've got a college-age son who's 20. He's up at CU. I've got a 17-year-old. I think it's no different than every other conversation you have to have with them. And, it's a little bit like I'm old enough to remember when the legal drinking age, at least for beer, was 18, and then they made it 21, or you weren't going to get federal highway money and all the rest of that stuff. Okay, go to any college campus. Tell me how the 21-year-old law is working in terms of preventing people under that age from drinking. If anything, you could make the argument it's made it worse, right? It leads to the binge drinking problem because, hey, we got to jump around these rules. If we get a chance to drink, we're going to, make the most of it, quote unquote, which I think is it's maybe made the problem worse. It's no different than any of those conversations, right? There's alcohol, there's other vices, there's other things. Is it a problem with young men and they get addicted to it and the dopamine and the rush of it? Sure, but you have the same kind of problems with social media and all that other stuff. Like, at what point do you just say, listen, it's not my job, your job, the government's job to protect every person from every possible pitfall? at some point people got to be responsible, and if you're for themselves, and if you're over 18, I always go with the theory, and maybe this is old-fashioned, maybe this is me just showing my age, but if you're old enough to go to war, grab a gun, and fight for this country, I think you're old enough to decide if you want to place a wager on the NBA Finals.
James Merilatt joining us from DenverSports.com. He's on Twitter at James Merilatt. Let's get to the Broncos. Minicamp winds down today. Sean Payton canceled the last practice, so he must be in good shape here. A couple of Broncos questions. The big one, Jonathan Cooper, off-field issues. He's not with the team. What are you predicting with Cooper and the Broncos come mandatory training camp?
I think Jonathan Cooper is going to get cut. I don't think he's going to be a Bronco. I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens, though. There's the first big legal incident the Walton Penner Family Ownership Group has had to deal with. I think they're kind of at a fork in the road here, and there's one of two ways to go. They could go the way of saying, listen, we're going to leave it to the legal system, and we're going to leave it to the league. They will decide what the punishment should be, in terms of the infraction and what happens to them legally, and then the league has their rules in place, and they can decide on suspension. That's fine. There's no problem with going that way. There are systems in place and organizations in place to deal with that stuff and let them do it. That's fine. He's going to get at least a 6-game suspension would be my guess. Or they could say, listen, there's a certain code of conduct if you're going to be a member of the Broncos, and this doesn't meet it. So, we're not being judgmental on you, but you can't be a part of this organization if this is the kind of stuff you're going to do. I think they're going to go that route. It'll be interesting, though, because that's a slippery slope of, listen, what he's alleged to have done is terrible. If he did those things, I don't think he should be on the team. As a lifelong fan, I don't want him on the team. I don't want to have to, go and quote-unquote root for a guy who's wearing the Broncos uniform who did those kind of things. But one thing we know, this won't be the last incident. So if you set the precedent, then it's like, well, what are you going to do in the next one and the next one and the next one? Roger Goodell got himself in this issue when he first became commissioner, and it was the whole new sheriff in town, and he was going to lay down the law. Well, then you get in an incident of like, okay, well, Ray Rice gets this many games, but this guy for a DUI gets this many games, and then this guy gets, and you get fans and you get media people comparing infractions and your inconsistencies, and you're kind of in a no-win situation. So that would be the precedent the Walton Penner Family Ownership Group is setting of like, listen, if you get into certain kinds of trouble, you're gone and we're not going to keep you. I don't know that they want to do that. I have a feeling they're going to cut him, but they may well just decide, listen, this is a league matter. Whatever the league puts as his punishment, we will not, appeal it. We will not protest it. We will go along with it. They may choose that route, but if you made me predict, I think they're going to cut him.
Very interesting. Jonathan Cooper, potential trouble there for the Broncos rush. And Bo Nix had the ankle surgeries and didn't do a ton, but was out there getting after it a little bit. Says he wants to win the MVP and the Super Bowl. So, I'm on board with that. What are we supposed to say to that?
I thought Bo Nix was great yesterday. And I've been a person who's been kind of worried about it all offseason. Anytime you have to have a second operation, the team can spin it all they want to. That's not a good thing, and it was cause for concern. It's the fifth different time he's had that ankle cut on and worked on. That's troubling for a guy his age, but I thought he had all the right answers, not only about the MVP thing and winning a Super Bowl, which, that's what you want to hear. I want to have my quarterback with lofty expectations and high aspirations, both team and personally. But I thought what he said about the ankle was good. He was like defiant, but not in a defensive way. Just kind of like, kids are coming up to me at the school asking me what's wrong with my ankle. It's like, nothing's wrong with my ankle. Like, I liked his tone about it. We found out the second surgery was a bone spur. Like, he could have dealt with it, but if you've got all this time in the off season, you might as well get it cleaned up so it's not, catching and being an irritant during the season. It's like, okay, I get it. And then the fact that he said, hey, if we were playing a game on Sunday, I'd be playing. I'd want to be out there right now. They're just protecting me from myself. Okay, that made me feel better about it too. That all sounds great. If he's out there first day of training camp, it's a moot point. Story's gone. We turn the page. If he misses any camp, misses any preseason, heaven forbid he misses any regular season, then we got ourselves a different conversation. But I thought Bo was great yesterday. I've done a 180. I did not like the pick at the time. I'm on board with Team Bo. 7,700 yards, 54 touchdowns his first 2 seasons, 24 wins. I don't know what more the guy can do to win people over. So, listen, with Bo Nix, this team's a Super Bowl contender. Without him, they'd be lucky to win 7 or 8 games.
James Merilatt from Denver. It is denversports.com. He's here on the Nate Brown Show in South Dakota. Find him on Twitter and follow him at James Merilatt. James, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime, Nate.
Hit him there. denversports.com. It's James Merilatt in tonight from Denver, talking Broncos minicamp and some sports betting. It's an interesting scenario going on in South Dakota right now. We don't have mobile sports wagering, but all these prediction markets have taken off just here in 2026. I mean, you can. I haven't done every one of them, but FanDuel predictions, you can do that. I just did Kalshi. I just did Polymarket. I mean, they're all live in South Dakota, yet our legislature has stopped mobile sports wagering for the last 4 years. And now the prediction markets have launched in all of these states, including South Dakota. And I think some of you are like, what does this mean? What are you talking about? It's just like sports betting. They call it predictions instead of bets. But it's your money. It's real money. And some of you know because you've sent in your text. I've asked you, have you done this on Kalshi, Polymarket? Have you bet on sports? I got 3 guys here that have sent in their text saying they've done it. And then I've got another guy who said he's gone over to Iowa just across the way, and he does it all the time, and he sees other people doing it. So that's what I mean by the revenues going out of the state, going to the outside companies and the Kalshis and the Polymarkets, and South Dakota's seeing nothing. And I'm not telling you it's going to solve everyone's problems from a revenue standpoint, but wouldn't you take the revenue? Because the argument about the Vice and having it on your phone is over now. It's on your phone if you want it to be. FanDuel predicts, Underdog, DraftKings, they're all live, ready to go. The World Cup's going on right now. You can do it right here, right now. Baseball, World Cup, everything. I just had a guy sending his screenshots. He did the Stanley Cup Finals the other night. So, would you want the governor? The next governor, that's my question of the day. How did we get into the governor debate tonight? Well, would you want the next governor of South Dakota? That's who can be in charge to say mobile sports wagering. We need to get it done in South Dakota. The prediction markets are here anyway. Deadwood's on board with mobile sports wagering, but nobody's let them do it. So you could have the BetMGM sports app. I have it. I can use it when I'm in Las Vegas, when I'm in Nevada. But, boy, you can't use it when you get into South Dakota. So that's how that could work through Tin Lizzy in Deadwood. They have the regulations. They have the rules. They have the app. It'd be all good, ready to go. You just need the governor to sign it and the legislature to get it done. Do you want the next governor to say mobile sports wagering should happen in South Dakota? That's my question of the day. Let's hit that. 605-720-1067 on the text line. Hit me there. I'm going to come back with some answers, including a couple that just came in. You want the governor to make mobile sports wagering a real thing in South Dakota. Is it time? I believe it is because of all this stuff that's happening already in 2026. Coming right back as well with your texts and Caitlin Clark's big news today coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to get and celebrate life.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, how you doing tonight? Hopefully solid. Hope you're doing great, guys. Wednesday edition of the program. We're rolling. First hour in the books. Brian Noe was excellent from Vegas, Fox Sports Radio national host. If you missed Brian Noe, good stuff. James Merilatt, outstanding from Denver Sports, from Broncos minicamp just wrapped up today, mandatory minicamp. Next time you see the Broncos, the end of July, and then we're getting serious. We're getting serious. And the Vikings, when are they going to get serious? Hey, Kyler Murray, I'm ready, man. I know it's June, but I'm ready. The Nate Brown Show on tonight, Fox Sports Radio, KWSN, Sioux Falls. Welcome in on Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here. Text line for you to be a part of the conversation. I appreciate this. Good text coming in tonight. 605-720-1067. Hit us on the Barron's Wilson text line. So I asked you, do you want the next governor of South Dakota to make mobile sports betting an item to address? They have taken this thing through Pierre, and it's been like swimming through oatmeal. I mean, it's just a grinder, and they can't get it out of the Senate floor, and it gets voted down. And then it was close a few years ago, and then it got hit. Would you want? I mean, the governor's got to support this. You know, when the person at the top supports something, usually it gets going because they don't try and kill it in committee and all that stuff. So I'm a political science minor. I mean, can't you tell? So I'm informing you. We need the governor to say mobile sports betting is the item we can address. So that's my question of the day. Do you want that listener text coming in? Yes, I would like that. South Dakota is behind on everything. Let's see. Listener text. Nate, how can our state be so reliable on video lottery but yet not have mobile sports betting? Every year the state has a report on what the profit is from video lottery. They make it clear how much they rely on the revenue. How is video lottery okay, but not sports betting? Very interesting. Very interesting text. Listener text. Nate, I've heard people who spend their paycheck on video lottery yet the state doesn't have a problem with that. Very interesting. One more. We need things to change in South Dakota, but it's going to be difficult. Some of these people are going to have to be out of office before we see reasonable laws on sports betting. I mean, it'd be a good start with the governor to say, hey, all these prediction markets have taken off across the country. They're live in South Dakota. They're taking people's wagers, the prediction markets, Kalshi, Poly Market. You guys know this. So you can bet on everything under the sun on this. Sports betting, I mean, it's just readily accessible right there on your phone, but we don't see any of the revenue, any of the tax, none of that. None of that. So I had this covered this past legislative session. I had it covered this past legislative session with Casey Crabtree. He's out of Madison, right? Legislator out of Madison, and he had this bill, and he said it's time to do this, and he was trying to direct revenue to property tax relief. And it still got killed. And people, this just started in South Dakota, all these prediction markets that have, you can pull up and create an account on Kalshi, and you can do anything you want right now. And so it's over. The argument for stopping, it's over, I do believe, right? Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What do you say?
Good. Well, a couple things. I owe you a jersey, for one. I mentioned that I'd give you a Cal Clutterbuck jersey if the Wild beat Dallas, and they did.
Yes.
So I owe you that.
Okay, you got time.
Then,
it's okay.
As far as this... what's that?
You got time. It's okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Before next year, at some point. But with this whole sports betting thing, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention, and that's on me, and that's kind of my point. But like the U.S. Congress, Senate, House of Representatives, it's like a nursing home in there, right? I don't know if that's the same for South Dakota. I don't know who our people are, but I don't want to blame them because it's us who vote them in. So we, as people, as constituents, if we care about it that much, we need to actually go to the voting booth and vote for people who are going to pass this kind of stuff. We complain about it, and then we don't vote. So we all kind of need to take a little bit of accountability on this, I think.
Okay, I got you. And not enough people vote. I will tell you that. I will tell you that.
True story.
Good
all right,
point.
have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I do vote, and I hope you vote, and I hope everybody has an educated vote. And my whole thing is, this isn't going to, solve everybody's issues, but there's things that, like that listener texted in, he said, the video lottery and stuff, it's like, well, when you want to talk about a vice and a struggle, that's a struggle there, right? Yeah, everyone, we can't do sports betting. Legislators have, they've just said no, not only not to approve it, guys. What I'm telling you is in Pierre, they don't even let it go to a public vote for you and I. So speaking of voting, the legislators have killed it before it even went to a ballot for you and I to say, yes, we want mobile sports wagering. They kill it in Pierre in the dead of night. They go and have steaks at this great Cattleman Steakhouse, and then they kill sports betting. And then what I'm telling you is they think it's the right thing to do, and then we're way behind because the prediction markets have now taken over. They're live in South Dakota, and people have bet on sports every single day, and we still think we can hold the mighty stance that we're going to stop sports betting. And that's gone. It's done. Okay, let's get into two things tonight. Appreciate your text on this. Would you want the next governor to say mobile sports betting? Would you want the next governor to get mobile sports betting done? Okay, that's my question of the day. Everybody here on the program has said yes. People have said, we've been kicking the can down the road on this. The same legislators who have been in Pierre keep kicking the can down the road, and they're forced to not make a decision. So then they just get voted back in, and nobody votes them out. So very interesting. Hit us on the text line. Would you want the next governor to get mobile sports betting done? I think that's what it's going to take, is somebody from the top to say, hey, we got to get this taken care of. We're missing out on some revenue here. Everybody and their mother's doing this. Outside companies have taken over. Why not have it regulated through South Dakota, through Deadwood with mobile sports apps, and then everybody from Sioux Falls to Spearfish could do it? Because that's what's going on in those prediction markets anyway. Two things. Caitlin Clark's new shoe is out. Boy, do I have an opinion on this. And 5 questions from Chris on a Wednesday. He sent them in. I've got answers coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
If you think all shoe stores are the same, you haven't walked into Trav's Outfitter. We have the biggest selection of footwear anywhere. In fact, we dare you to compare. At Trav's, you don't have to sell yourself a pair of shoes. Our team helps you find the right fit for your lifestyle. We may be the newest name on the block in Rapid, but we've been in this game for over 40 years. Come find us in the old Kmart building. Trav's Outfitter, best selection, best service, no BS.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
In Deadwood, South Dakota, Cadillac Jack's practically invented gaming, delivering everything you want in a 24/7 gaming experience and nothing you don't. 3 bold lodging options, 5 crave-worthy dining spots, a sports book built for the big game, and a casino floor that never sleeps. Score events, hot casino promotions, our infinity pool, and a merch store that lets you rep the win. Always bet on red. Book now at CadillacJacksGaming.com on Main Street, Deadwood.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
One more time. This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome in, second hour, ready to go. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio. Our affiliates are Fox Sports Rapid City. Great station throughout Western South Dakota. Great listeners. We appreciate you. Also, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Glad to have you on board. Second hour features Brian Henson, our old friend. Brian Henson back in tonight. Indianapolis Star covers the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Brian Henson's on tonight. Brian's coming up next. And speaking of Caitlin Clark, let's get right into this. So Caitlin Clark finally has her signature shoe that's being unveiled today. So if you want to check it out, check it out. This is Caitlin Clark 1. It's the Caitlin Clark 1. And I've got a couple of things on this. Number one, it's going to be about $140 for adult size, about $105 for kids. So I'm going to ask you hypothetical. Maybe you sports dads out there have daughters, so you can answer this realistically. But you other guys, hypothetical, if you have a daughter, if you had a daughter, and she asked for the Caitlin Clark shoe, $140 if it's an adult size. Maybe you got like a 8th grader, $140. Are you buying the Caitlin Clark $140 signature shoe? It's the first of its kind, a historic deal launched today by Nike. That's my question for you tonight. I'm trying to get some counseling for my own decision making. I mean, here's the thing, guys. You want me to take you in this? I had to ask my parents for Michael Jordan shoes. You don't know how many times. You don't know how many times I asked my parents for Michael Jordan shoes. But we weren't rich. We didn't have a bunch of money. We had to grind on this. I mean, my folks couldn't just go down and get me Michael Jordan shoes. I didn't get Jordan shoes for a long time. Poor little Nate. Poor little Nate. I didn't get Jordan shoes. So that's from my era. So this is the girls' basketball thing. This is like, this is the shoe. It's 140 spot. It's 140. Are you going to drop it for Tina? I don't know what your daughter's name is. We call her Tina here on the program. Are you going to drop $140? I'll think about that. They come out October 1st, and Nike announced that today with Caitlin Clark. Pretty cool shoe. You can check them out. Caitlin Clark 1. They're blue. You must like blue. They're blue, totally blue. They got the CC logos all across, and then a Nike swoosh and 22 on the tongue of the shoe. Pretty cool. Pretty nice. I've been asked about it already on my family text thread. So just so you're aware, I'm under pressure, and I'm just trying to figure out if the South Dakota sports fans, the sports dads out there, if you have a daughter, is that a no-brainer? You just say, yeah, I mean, we got to get to the Caitlin Clark shoes, or do I go old school like my folks? If you want Michael Jordan shoes, you're going to have to work. We might have to compromise. My one daughter that does want the Caitlin Clark shoes, she does do some good work. So maybe we can come up with a solution on that. $140, and then Nike says they're going to have 18 apparel items to launch with this October 1st. I will say, guys, you underestimate the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. I've underestimated it, and the reason I say that, I did myself. There's a Caitlin Clark phenomenon. It is wild. These shoes are going to be off the charts. These shoe sales are going to be off the charts. Get ready for the next girls' basketball season. October 1st is when they come out. I don't even know if people are going to be able to get these. I mean, they're going to be And then my other thing with this, what took Nike so long on this? They signed her 4 years ago. No, I'm serious. They signed her 4 years ago. I'm not in the shoe business, but you would think that Caitlin Clark popularity was really hot right away. And I still think it's big, but you would think you want to get in on this rookie season. You want to get going on this. Well, they had the Asia Wilson shoe, and we got to give time for that, and the Sabrina Ionescu shoe and stuff. It's like, this is Caitlin Clark. Nobody like her. Nobody's ever seen anything like her. Nike's going to wait 4 years after signing the deal when she was in college. They missed that window a little bit. I still say October 1st is going to be huge. Listener text, I would buy the shoes. One honest guy. One honest guy. I would buy the shoes. Wait, I got something on Twitter on this saying I would buy 2 pairs. 2 pairs. Well, now we're just getting crazy. Listener text, the Clark shoes look pretty cool. Her CC logo is next level. Her CC logo is next level. Well, you know who I'm going to buy a pair for? Maybe my daughter, will see if she ticks me off this summer or not, but my guy, Matt Kearney, I want to see him put on the Caitlin Clark shoes, walk into the office with a strut. I mean, he might feel different. He might feel different from the logo. Matt Kearney, back with 5 questions, and Brian Henshins coming up from Indianapolis.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show on tonight. Glad you're a part of the program. Hope you've had a good week. Wednesday here in the week on South Dakota Sports Talk Show Live. If you missed parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We appreciate you downloading it. Yesterday we had Simeon Birnbaum on. Talked to some folks last night at the barbecue I was at about that. And just absolutely huge accomplishment. setting a collegiate record for the 1,500 meter earlier this year. And Simeon Birnbaum out of Rapid City Stevens, a South Dakota state record holder, goes to Oregon. And now he's the 1,500 meter NCAA national champion of the outdoor track and field championships last Friday. Simeon Birnbaum on yesterday. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Listen to every guest, every show at your own convenience. Download it on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, these guys have a show that they do on YouTube. A fever show. I like it. Brian Henson, I never thought my old buddy from Sioux Falls would be talking fever. Caitlin Clark. But he does it. He's with the Indianapolis Star, Indy Star sports writer. Brian Henson back on. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on before Jandy. I couldn't handle that pressure.
Okay, you can step right in. Let me ask you about the fever. I'm going to go to this Caitlin Clark news today. I just threw it out to my audience. If you're a dad or if you're a hypothetical, maybe you're going to be a dad and you have your daughter and she comes up to you. She says, Dad, I want the Caitlin Clark shoe. It's out October 1st. It's going to be about $140 if you have an adult size, over $100 for a kid size. Are you dropping that coin? Brian Henson, you better say the right thing.
You got to, right? I mean, come on. That gets you Dad of the Year. That set up your Dad of the Year case if you do that, right, bud?
Okay, all right. Okay.
They do look pretty cool, though. I'm not a big sneakers guy, but I mean, they do look pretty slick.
Okay, so let's get into this a little bit. Caitlin Clark, the shoe is unveiled. She unveiled it, kind of a picture of herself there, and then Nike put it out officially. I do think they're cool. They're blue. People can find them. They're called Caitlin Clark 1. Let me just ask you this from as you cover her. Will this be absolutely huge for Nike October 1st? They're releasing the shoe, and I wonder how big this is compared to the other shoes, the Asia Wilsons, the Sabrina Ionescu's. Is Caitlin going to be number 1?
I would think so, or maybe come close. Like, I would imagine that the interest will be booming. You know, the price point seems fairly reasonable, I suppose. Yeah, I would expect booming demand for something like this. It's been hyped up for a while now. People have been waiting, and they're finally getting it.
Okay, so that's the other side. I don't know the answer to this, but I saw this story about Nike kind of sitting on this, and they wait on this. They've signed Caitlin 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And as she's third year WNBA, and they waited, I still think she's really popular. You know this, Brian, but is the Caitlin Clark show a little less than, 3 years ago?
No, I think it's different. I think it's still the same. No, I would say that she's still just as popular. I think, though, that the league-wide, the sport in general, is a lot more popular than it was, even when she first came out in the league, and that's obviously a byproduct of her popularity. But based on our readership numbers, everything that I see on social media, just going around these games, walking around town, seeing the number of Caitlin Clark trees that I see, and obviously it's within the bubble of Indianapolis, but she sort of seems just as popular now as she did before.
Okay, so you don't think you missed the window, and maybe they didn't, but I wonder how these shoe deals go. I don't know why Nike sits on this. I don't know what the product line, why didn't they put this out earlier? She's been going for a while.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, too, and I saw it. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but Dan Wetzel at ESPN wrote about that. I'm really curious to just read his take, because I found that kind of curious, too, but I think she's mentioned in previous interviews that people don't realize how much goes into designing shoes and how much time that sort of thing takes, and all the technologies and all that stuff, and just how long it takes to come together. So I kind of wonder if maybe that's part of it, that Nike didn't necessarily want to wait this long into their deal with her, but getting those technologies and things like that is kind of what delayed it, so to speak.
Brian Henson on tonight. He covers the Fever and high school sports for the Indianapolis Star. He's live from Indy Star. Talking Fever, let's get into this a little bit. Caitlin's playing well, I think. Fever have caught fire. I'm watching this. They win last night, 113 points. Caitlin goes 21 points, 14 assists. What type of season do you think she's having?
You can tell that she's getting more comfortable. Like last night, she didn't shoot the ball the best, but obviously the assist numbers are astronomical, and she got to the free throw line and made 10 of 14 free throws, I think it was. But you can tell just from watching her that she's getting more comfortable out there after missing so much time last year with injury. You can tell that the shot's slowly coming back to her. She's had a couple buzzer beaters. She's had some of those insane logo threes. So you can tell that she's starting to get back into her groove of things. So I think we're really just kind of starting to tap in to that, that traditional Caitlin Clark that we're used to seeing, and I think that she's in for a big stretch run here in the summer.
What do you make of the controversy around the Fever, every little thing in the last 3 weeks? I mean, I'm watching from Rapid City,
dude.
I mean, every little thing in the last 3 weeks what's going on?
It's exhausting. A lot of the times, just to be blunt, it's stupid, and I guess it comes with the territory. It also gets really toxic really fast on social media, especially.
Yeah.
He makes it some of the things that get thrown around on social media, and it's just so toxic. And it is annoying. And I tell you what, Nate's really interesting is that from the outside, it can feel kind of burdensome when you're just like, that's just what you're surrounded with, and that's all you're seeing is just that toxicity. But then you realize when you talk to the players, when you see them interact with each other, you see Caitlin Clark and the coach interact, you realize that they are within their own little bubble, and it is seriously sunshine and rainbows in there. Yeah, they're upset when they lose. Yeah, they're concerned with the blown leads and some of these basketball things that happen. But beyond basketball, just in terms of being human beings, you can tell and get the sense that they all do get along, which is really good, and that they've kind of insulated themselves, I guess, from all that external noise, which is good. So I think that's a long way of saying that I think there's a discrepancy between what we see online and other media outlets, not reputable ones that cover the team regularly, but like the YouTubers and the bloggers and the ding-dongs on social media. There's a difference between them and then the people, on the team and those involved. And, not to toot my own horn, but I obviously still have a way with words using things like ding-dongs.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good word. That's perfect. Because what I've seen, there's been some of that. Because I'm watching this, Caitlin, do you think that does impact her in the long run? She's like, people love her, and then people want her to go down. Do you think the constant attention, I mean, she's a celebrity, does that wear on her play?
I don't think so. Not really. Because I was kind of curious about that too, but I don't get that sense at all. She seems like she does a pretty good job of just kind of insulating herself and understands, how to separate herself from that. It doesn't seem to impact any of her teammates, and it certainly doesn't impact the coach, who we've talked to her about this before, and I think she's mentioned that she's kind of unplugged from all that stuff, because Stephanie White gets more heat than I think anybody should.
Brian Henson covers the Fever. You guys just did a Fever YouTube episode with the rookie, Raven Johnson. What do you think of her? How's she fitting in?
Oh, dude, she's awesome. Like, in terms of interview as a media guy, just phenomenal interview. Like, she had a story. She told us an anecdote of playing against the Chicago Sky the other night in Chicago and guarding Skylar Diggins, and she's like awestruck and just trying to strike up a conversation, and just her genuine reaction in telling us and the excitement to tell us that Skylar Diggins was familiar with her and was proud of her for getting to where she was. I mean, it's just so awesome because she's so genuine in her emotions. And in basketball terms, I mean, she's kind of slotted herself in there to that, number 6, number 7 right off the bench there when they need a substitute, and was one of their top guards outside of the starting 5. So, I mean, it was a really good pickup. I know the Fever were excited when she fell to them in the draft. Some of the fans weren't necessarily as excited, didn't understand it, but she's been a great fit, a perfect fit, and I think that she's just starting to tap into that potential.
Brian Henson covers the Fever down. Caitlin Clark, the season's getting going good. Fever on a roll right now. He's with the Indianapolis Star, former Argus leader, sports writer, and soon, I don't know if these are just female shoes, but if they're like unisex shoes, I mean, I think you could wear those. I think you could roll into the field house with those.
Thanks, buddy. I'm going to put that on my Christmas list for Jandy, so make sure that he knows that I'd like that for Christmas.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
Take care, bud. I'll see you later.
See ya. Brian Henson covers the Fever, and Caitlin Clark, Indianapolis Star. His show is on today. They do a Fever show on YouTube for the Indy Star. Brian Henson, former Argus leader, sports writer now, covering one of the biggest stars in sports right now, Caitlin Clark. And the shoe is out. It was unveiled. The shoe comes out October 1st. Would you buy your daughter the Caitlin Clark shoe? It'll be a story of my life. You will. Will I unveil it to you? Will I unveil it to you? Yeah, it's not that deep, as they say. Let's see. Listener text. I have boys and get them Jordans. So if I had girls, probably yes. Huh. Interesting. What are girls? So my daughter has Jordans. That's the last shoe that I bought for, because, it's that childhood tragic incident where I never got Jordans, and then I bought my daughter. Anyway, thanks for playing, everybody. Jason Anderis coming in next from South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Your Sports, Your Show. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Busy show tonight. Are we going to get to everything tonight? We might not. I mean, it's packed tonight. Good, though. That's good. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio across the state. Brian Henson moments ago covering Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever for the Indy Star. Lister texts Fever play the Atlanta Dream with Angel Reese tomorrow on Prime. Oh, that's a good watch. Good watch. Thanks for telling me that it was on Prime, because, I mean, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan, so I watch a lot of her games, but I never go over to Prime to see what's streaming. Anyway, Jason Ander is on tonight. Appreciate him hopping in. SDPB. Got great coverage of high school sports. Taking a little breather in the summer, but he'll be back at it. Sports season will be here before we know it. Jason, how are you?
Hey, doing good. Like you said, taking a little bit of a breather, but I'm actually and as we speak, I'm doing some research on high school football. So
you are.
We are. It's always in season.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to dig into that a little bit and get your read on a high school football topic, but I do want to go to this scenario. You're umpiring. I was told you were umpiring. I mean, are you a serious umpire? Is this Jason Andera out there umpiring games?
Not a serious umpire. I did dabble in it the last couple of years. This year I haven't done very much, but I've filled in once in a while. I realized that some people are really good at umpiring, and some people just go out there just to help. And I'm the second kind for sure.
Oh, you are. What are we talking? Baseball, softball, what?
Softball, all softball. I coached softball for a long time with my daughter, and so I kind of got into the softball, loop of things and learned all the rules and realized, let's stay in softball for a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah, I haven't done it as much as I have the last couple of years.
Okay, all right, but good that you're giving back to the community. Everybody cool with you? No incidents with your calls?
Well, yeah, I have had a couple of instances with my calls. So the last 2 seasons I did high school softball. This year I didn't do high school softball. I've just done other stuff. And man, when you're coaching, you think you know the rules. When you're out there and umpiring, you have to know them inside and out and have them right away. So I've been challenged a few times by some sharp coaches.
Okay.
And learned that, you really have to be skilled to know what you're doing.
Very good. Jason Andera, moonlighting as an umpire and, of course, covering high school sports. Okay, let me get into this high school football topic. It's a general topic, but I'm going to tell you, there's the big schools here in Rapid we know have struggled in football. Stevens has really struggled as of late. The last few years have been really a struggle. I know they're going to lose some players, and these are potential contributors. So this is already something now. When you lose players and a program that's already struggling, how do you close the gap? Sioux Falls Metro has dominated, and Stevens has had struggles and now losing some key contributors potentially. What do you do?
Well, it does. It really all start at the youth level. And, there have been coaches in Rapid City that have really tried to take that approach, make sure that they get the youth levels really strong and get invested in those levels up through the middle schools and into the high schools. And there just hasn't been enough consistency yet with the coaching out there. And it's not to say they've had, subpar coaches. They just haven't had the consistency and the interest level. So that's what it really does take, though. That's when Sioux Falls turned around about 30 years ago, is when the youth levels really got organized, and there was more opportunities at the youth levels, and there was more opportunities at the middle schools. And I think that's what it's going to take in Rapid City, too. I mean, these things do go in cycles. I mean, things can change. Like I said, when I was in high school, Sioux Falls public schools were terrible at football. I mean, they were the laughingstock. They'd get beat up by Yankton and Huron and Brookings. And, O'Gorman was the only school inside the Sioux Falls city limit. That's where people would go play if they were serious about football. And it changed. It changed around. It can change around. Even Roosevelt, the last couple of years, what they've gone through with a lot of the players sticking together and choosing to go to Jefferson, it has been a real impact on Roosevelt over the last couple of years. But that's not to say that if they get another good group coming up that wants to play together, they can't change that around in a couple of years. So it will take time, but because you really do have to start at the lower levels.
Man, it's been a long time. I mean, and I know what you're saying because you were in high school a long time ago. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's true. It's true.
Takes a long time. And Stevens and Central have been struggling, no doubt. Central trying to bounce up a little bit, but still quite a gap from some of the Sioux Falls domination in football. And now I'm hearing some key contributors that Stevens may not be playing for the Raiders this upcoming year, and they've really struggled the last couple of years. Okay, how about this? The board meeting today for the Activities Association, not a huge headlines out of that, just some basic stuff. But I do want to say the amendment got votes from schools. 145 schools said yes, that they need to make sure 7th and 8th graders cannot do the reclass or redshirt and get another year of high school eligibility. So it sounds like a lot of people think you should just get 7th, 8th grade and up through high school. That's it. Not be able to repeat a grade to play sports. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that's good, and I think it's preemptive. I don't think it's a huge problem right now, but it is something that is piquing interest not only in this state, but obviously other states that take it a little bit more seriously even. So it's probably good to really set those boundaries right now. If that's the only reason you're reclassifying, there's probably some other things that you have to focus on. If you're reclassifying because of, grade level and where you're at academically, then you shouldn't need to play an extra year of sports anyway. So I think that's a great move.
I don't believe there's a ton of this going on, but man, no. I don't know, the last 3 months I've seen national stories on this.
That's it.
And so you think South Dakota's trying to say, hey, we got to get out in front of this.
I think exactly is they see this stuff going on nationally, and things do trickle down, and why not get some policy in place now?
Jason Andera on tonight. He's with South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Find him on Twitter at 605Jandy. It will be coming up, the fall sports season. You're working on a little bit of football. I do have to ask you a big picture question, okay? A big picture question. When you think about high school sports, if I'm running, I'm going to do my a little segment tomorrow, okay? So you're going to help me with this. If I ran for governor, what would get me more votes? If I said 5 classes of football, or if I said mobile sports betting statewide, what would get me more votes?
Wow. I live in that world of high school sports, and I know there's not very many people that I talk to that are jacked about having 7 classes in high school football. And I know there's a reason for that, but there's so much public sentiment out there for reducing the number of classes. I think that might get you over. That might get you over.
Wow. So you might give me some support on that, okay? So that's duly noted. The mobile sports betting is a big topic right now, but 5 classes of football is important in the Jandy world. Last one, I had Simeon Birnbaum on yesterday. You know him. We watched him set records in South Dakota. How about this? 1,500-meter NCAA champion. I asked him, are you going to be at the Olympics? He said, book your tickets. If Simeon Birnbaum medals at the Olympics, where does that put him in South Dakota sports lore?
Well, he's probably already on Mount Rushmore. That would probably cement him, not only because of what he's doing at the Olympic level in a sport like that. The attitude that he brings is so awesome for the sport, and it always has been. And when he says something like book your ticket, I can just see him saying that, because he wants to get more people involved in track and field, and he's done a great job of that. And how impressive was that win, that push that he had at the end? Wow. That was unbelievable. So I think we're talking really, really rare air, maybe. Definitely top 4.
Okay. I was going to say, if he medals in the 2028 Olympics in 1,500 meters, that puts Simeon Birnbaum in, one of the top categories.
How about this? We might have a couple of South Dakota high school athletes medaling in the 28. Bergen Riley is probably in that conversation right now, being one of the best setters in the country. So I think we've got a couple.
Not bad. Keep an eye on that. Jason Andera on tonight. Little high school sports hitter. More to come. Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, take care.
See ya. Jason Andera, SDPB Sports. He has a show all throughout the high school sports season on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. He's on X at 605Jandy. So get ready for tomorrow. Yeah, come back tomorrow. I'm going to run, when it comes to governor, for sports changes. Okay, this is my platform. If I would run for governor, I'm going to throw out my changes for South Dakota sports and see what will get me over the top. I've got some good platform ideas, and 5 classes of football, that might be near the top. That's tomorrow. Who's hot and who's not? Wrap up the show. You need to hear it next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of Artisan Hearth buns and rolls on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled burgers and hot dogs deserve the best, and with several varieties to choose from, including Wisconsin brat buns, gourmet brioche, French, and onion rolls, the bakers of Artisan Hearth have the buns and rolls your family will love. Artisan Hearth, locally baked, delivered fresh daily.
At Splash City, we think there's a time for everything. There's work time, there's play time, and there's your time. Splash City specializes in your time. Spas for you and your friends. Beautiful gas fireplaces that can be used almost anywhere, bringing warmth to the night or letting you be alone with your thoughts. Splash City. Rest, relax, enjoy.
The best certified pre-owned values are at Danny Menno Toyota. Shop over 25 Toyota certified used vehicles in stock, inspected and backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And we have low finance rates available on select certified Toyotas. Looking to sell? We pay top dollar for used vehicles. Get an appraisal in 20 minutes or less, or use your online KBB Instant Cash Offer tool. See us at Danny Menno Toyota or DannyMennoToyota.com today. See dealer for warranty details.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory continues. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly sunny tomorrow, chance of rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 76. Slight chance for showers. Tomorrow night, lows around 53, partly cloudy skies. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 71 degrees.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
All right, let's do this. Fun show tonight. Thanks for being a part of it. Wednesday edition of the program. We're back tomorrow, better than ever, ready to go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Who's hot and who's not every night at this time. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, best buffet in town. It's in Brandon. Great location. Fun Zone Arcade's outstanding for the kids. And East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Drop by the Pizza Ranch this week. Everyone's favorite buffets at the Pizza Ranch. Who's hot category? How about this? I don't know how big this is going to be tomorrow in New York, but it's going to be something. New York City is assigning 10,000 NYPD for the New York Knicks parade tomorrow. So that's like an army. So 10,000 cops are assigned for the New York Knicks parade tomorrow in New York City. It's the largest number of police officers ever for an event. I wonder if Rob Kegron will be here or there. Well, supposed to be here. 10,000 police. Everybody play it cool, please. The New York Knicks parade tomorrow is going to be something to watch, so let's keep an eye on that. in our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category. You know this World Cup match the other day where Cape Verde played Spain, right? That was a huge, they had a draw. It was a draw, and it was a huge upset. They just found out on Polymarket, somebody went in and bet just Spain to win. And he didn't, I mean, the odds were terrible. Spain should have won that easy. He bet $1 million for Spain to win. He only would have won $85,000. He bet $1 million to win $85,000, and he lost $1 million. Whoops. Thanks for playing. Back tomorrow on the Nate Brown Show, my Governor platform. See you then.
Mom, can we please go to a Tiki Indoor Water Park Resort?